Before I start this video, I first like to state this for the record. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan since birth, okay? I know everything about the Dallas Cowboys history. I've been there through the good times and the rough times. I have never swayed my passion for the Dallas Cowboys for any other NFL football team. But the past couple of days, I've been hearing a lot of news about the Dallas Cowboys organization, Jerry Jones, as well as the other side of the table, Dak Prescott, his family, as well as his agent. They still cannot reach an agreement as far as a contract for Dak Prescott to stay in Dallas. Now, you've been hearing a lot of rumbling, a lot of stuff about. Yesterday, it was about Dak Prescott not in the promotional video, this video that they use to promote season tickets, and they didn't have Dak Prescott in that particular video. And then you had Dak Prescott following the Washington football team on Instagram and then unfollowed them. Okay, making suggestion that he wouldn't mind playing for the Washington football team, which is the rival of the Dallas Cowboys. He also signed a contract with Anheuser-Busch. I believe the Cowboys sponsored beer is Coors. And a lot of people are saying he's doing these tactics to let the Dallas Cowboys know that he's standing firm and standing pat to his decision about wanting and a lot of people are talking about the years. The Cowboys want to sign him to a 4 or 5 year type of deal, and Dak Prescott wants a longer deal. But I really think the problem with them as far as getting a contract done is the years. Jerry Jones has been on record, even Stephen Jones has been on record, that they will welcome Dak Prescott to $35 million, around in that ballpark. And Dak Prescott is looking to start the bidding around $40 million a year. Now, keep in mind, what I'm about to say is not going to make, if you are a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, and if you are just a blind fan of football in general, and you don't understand the mechanisms as far as business goes, particularly when you have a hard cap, it's going to be extremely impossible. And I want to say this on record. It's going to be extremely possible for a $40 million year player to win the Super Bowl, because you need the others, and you have to have the money to pay the others. You just look at these past 2 Super Bowls to prove my point. Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, and he's only getting paid $25 million a season, and there's talk about him giving them a hometown discount, spreading out his salary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as long as he could play 3 or 4 more years for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. That's even making the salary cap flexibility even greater for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to sign what they have and also add to their roster. All right. When you look at Kansas City Chiefs, when they won the year before, guys, you have to remember, Patrick Mahomes wasn't making $40 million a year. And the Kansas City Chiefs had enough flexibility to bolster the defense, to also add pieces in the offense, and still have some cap flexibility. And that's why they won the Super Bowl the year before. Now Patrick Mahomes is making $40 million, all right? And you don't have the assets or the funding to have enough cap flexibility to sign for crucial pieces on your roster, particularly when crucial pieces are going down, which is his offensive line. His offensive line went down. They couldn't really replace those players because they didn't have the cap flexibility. They needed a running back. They could not afford a running back because of they didn't have enough cap flexibility. Now they signed, they picked up, I can't think of the running back who was for the Jets. He used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he's on the downside of his career, and they're really paying him next to nothing. All right. And he did next to nothing once he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. But that's what the Kansas City Chiefs are stuck in. All right. They don't have they don't have enough cap flexibility to get those others like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was able to do to get those others that are in special teams, defense, as well as the offense. You need those others that that makes your team good, great, and significantly greater. All right. The best team won, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this is why I'm saying, and I understand where Jerry Jones and it's more a Stephen Jones decision than a Jerry Jones decision. Jerry Jones will be perfectly happy paying Dak Prescott whatever he wants. The problem is Stephen Jones has a problem with it because now that puts more strain in your cap, and you're not going to be able to have enough cap flexibility to get those others. Those others are what makes teams win the Super Bowl. It's not just the concrete players that you already have on your roster. It's not just the quarterback. It's those others that can make plays in crucial moments, okay? And that's what Stephen Jones is looking at. If you pay Dak Prescott $40 million a year, you have already you're already paying your running back, which he's not the same as he once was a couple of seasons ago, particularly on a contract playing season. And you already have a receiver that you're paying $20 million, and you're not getting $20 million worth of investment from that receiver. Now, I feel like the Cowboys are going to rethink things through. I feel like they're going to add certain players for some cap flexibility help. And let it be known that if they can't do it, then there's a possibility of releasing them or possibly trading them. Okay. If they keep Quincy Carter, Dak Prescott, if they keep Dak Prescott. But I feel like they're going to trade Dak Prescott because, what they're saying? Because look at the Dallas Cowboys roster and let's just be real for a second, okay? Let's be realistic, okay? Even if they have Dak Prescott, and they had Dak Prescott, as well as these other players that they already done signed, none of these guys have demonstrated that they can take a team to the next level, not only to the postseason, but to win a Super Bowl. And they had plenty of time to do it. They just they was unable to do it. Now, you can blame some of it on injuries. You can blame some of it on coaching and schemes and things of that nature. But you also have to give them some blame in that as well. All right? So, if the Cowboys sign Dak Prescott to that $40 million contract, then they're going to have to stay pat of what they have, all right? If they trade Dak Prescott and keep the other pieces and do it on a case-by-case basis, they can possibly try to start this thing over again and have a clean slate, plus some cap flexibility to start this all over again and try to rebuild for another team. I love this team, but can we honestly say the Cowboys can make it to the Super Bowl next season with Dak Prescott? When Dak Prescott was on the roster, a lot of people seem to fail to realize that, the games that he started, they had to come back from behind. And you can't keep saying that's going to be your game plan, coming back from behind. All right. A lot of people blame the defense, the defensive scheme. They just gotten rid of their defensive coordinator. All right. You just gotten Mike Holmgren as your coach. All right. So you can't sit up there and say it's the scheme, it's the coaching. Ultimately, it's the players. It's the players who you have on your roster. And I just don't feel like the Dallas Cowboys have those players on the roster that can take you to the next level. I'm not hating on Dak Prescott. I wish he would stay as the Cowboys. And if he can, if he can make 30 million or 35 million, that's still a little cap flexibility where they can add other pieces to the roster, but they're going to be at another dilemma. Like, what if someone's injured on their roster and they can't afford to replace that piece because they don't have enough cap flexibility? They have some, but they don't have a lot. All right. So that's where we're at. I can see this going really. I can see it going either way, but I'm really pushing towards this way. I really think that the Cowboys are just going to cut their losses and just trade Dak Prescott to another NFL ball club. It seems like Dak Prescott really don't care where he goes to. And wherever he goes to, they're going to have to give up 3 number ones for that Dak Prescott. Now, Shannon Sharpe said something real stupid. And you got to realize he's a homer. He thinks emotionally, not logically, emotionally. And he said something, so, well, why don't the Cowboys, they feel like Dak Prescott's not the answer, just let him go. No, you don't do that, particularly in football. Now, he always like to equate things to a relationship. This is professional football. This is a business, okay? There's leverage, and there's, if you have leverage, then you shouldn't just give up your leverage because that person or that piece does not want to be there. That's still leverage to you, all right? And I feel like Shannon Sharpe is missing the boat. He's really missing the point. Even if the Cowboys feel like Dak Prescott is not going to take them to the promised land, still, he's a viable option that other teams will roll the dice on. And they know that. So they would gladly trade him to another team and in return get those picks and just start the thing all over again. All right. And that's where the Cowboys are at. I mean, no one's truly not holding all the cards. The Dallas Cowboys organization is truly not holding all the cards, and Dak Prescott and his agent is not holding all the cards. Okay, they need each other to make this trade happen and make this trade work, and that's why I feel like it can go either way, but I'm really leaning towards, I just don't see Dak Prescott as our quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, who's going to replace him? Andy Dalton? No, I don't think Andy Dalton is the answer. But the Jets, who is craving and dying for a quarterback, would love to take Dak Prescott, and we can get their old quarterback. Plus, we can still get 2, maybe 3 first-round picks for Dak Prescott, because it really hovers over Deshaun Watson. I don't see him getting out of the Texans, the ownership over there. They're saying they're staying packed. He's their quarterback. He's their franchise quarterback. They're really not in no rush to trade him because he's under contract, and that's what makes it difficult if he wants to be traded. But the Jets can look at Dallas and see if they can get and kick the tires around for Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott wants to go to the New York Jets, the New York Jets will be gladly to pay. They would love to pay Dak Prescott $40 million a year because that's their only true star. They will be gladly to do that. They'll even pay him more. But I see Deshaun possibly if the Texans and Texans ownership truly, if they change their mind and they want to trade him, then they need to hurry up and make a decision on that before the NFL draft, because the next logical place I see him in is Jackson. Now that's their rival. Yes, I know that and they'll be in the same conference, but I feel like the Jaguars have better pieces to give to the Texans, which is 3 number ones. They also have plenty of cap flexibility to build around, And look, the Texans are, if you trade your best, your only player, your franchise player, you know what's coming after that. You're rebuilding. All right. So, I I can see either of those ball clubs talking to either of those of those teams, the Dallas Cowboys or the Texans, and kick the tires around and see if they can possibly, the Houston Texans, try to see if they can get a trade package going on. And like I said, I'm going to say this again. I just don't believe, even though the market says quarterbacks are now worth $40 million, I just don't see a $40 million quarterback winning the Super Bowl. Because in the NFL, they have they have a such thing as a hard cap. And you have to have some cap flexibility, even when you sign your players. Even if you get the players that you want, that's going to help you in this upcoming season, you should still have enough cap flexibility. If one of those pieces go down, you'll have enough cap flexibility to get someone else. They may not be as better as the person that just went down, but they'll be serviceable for a few games. Okay, so. That's all I got to say on this. I mean, I would love to see Dak Prescott, a member of the Dallas Cowboys. I think, in my opinion, I would sign Dak Prescott. But you also have to know going in, if you give him what he wants, and you give him 40, and if you if you give him $40 million a year, clearly you're going to have to go back in the drawing board and refigure everything out again. And, you got all these other pieces that already done gotten paid. So now you have to go back into the drawing board and try to figure this thing out and try to get some type of cap flexibility for your roster. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces.